Now let us try to understand different ways to control a while loop through a C++ program demo. So in this video, I am going to show you some demo of Sentinel controlled or user input controlled while loop, and we will just compare how is it different from the count controlled while loop. So far, whatever loop you have utilized in this course, they are all count controlled. For example, let's try to see the form of the while loop that you have used in this course before. They all come into this category. Like there is a loop control variable, which is in this case it is lap count, which is initialized to some kind of value. In this case it is 1. Then there is some kind of arithmetic comparison or arithmetic comparison type of condition. In this case it is lap count less than equals 10, which means that if the until the value of lap count is greater than 10, until that time this while loop will keep on executing. Or the other way, so far the value of lap count is less than or equals 10, the loop will repeat, and these two lines of code will be executed again and again, starting from 1 to 10. And then in this place you can do whatever operation you want to do. I have just printed the value of this loop count variable, that is loop control variable, or this lap count. And then I have, in the last statement, in the modification, I have used an arithmetic operation to change or modify the value of this loop control or loop control variable or the loop variable. So here it can be any type of arithmetic operation, but the thing is, it is automatically incrementing or decrementing the count of the loop control variable, and based on that count it is determining how long will the loop will execute, starting from the initial condition. So that's the thing. So here the modification part is arithmetic, is just an arithmetic operation. So that's the major thing. Now that is how where the Sentinel controlled or the user controlled while loop going to differ in this modification part. So let's see with an example. So let us work with this example. So first let us try to initialize a variable. Well, in this video I am showing you that the loop control variable doesn't need to be only integer or only floating point number. It can be anything. It can be character or anything like that. So character, so I am initializing a char, and then let's say an in char. In char means it is an user input character. So first I am initializing it with, let's say, y. Y stands for yes, you can think of. Now then inside, let's do so this is my initialization. So here this inchar is initialized to y, and then let us write down the while loop. So here actually let me write down first in simple English what I am going to do. Continue or repeat the while loop until the user input is in. So whenever the user will enter in, then you have to break the while loop, otherwise you have to continue the while loop again and again and again. So what should be the condition for this in-char variable? So in-char is not equals n, and since n is a character, I am putting it inside this single quote, n, y, everything. So this is my condition part of the while loop. So far so good. I believe you can understand that it is simply the code conversion of this line. Repeat the while loop until the user input is in. So that is it. And the next part is here, let's say just what I did in my previous count controlled loop. I just want to print out the loop control variables value. Let's say cout and then y or sorry, this should be in char, and then just for good looking, let's print an endl. Just sorry, it should not be inside a quote, just for a line break, and that's it. So now, so this is the loop body, and now the modification part. In the modification part, just look at this English statement. I told that user input is in, so you cannot just automatically change the value of in char somehow like the count control loop. You have to ask the user to give some kind of input. So what we need to do is we have to use a cin, then in char, like this. So here what will happen is it will wait for the user input for in char, and based on that in char, the value of in char, it will check the condition over here inside this while loop, and if this condition holds true, it will keep on repeating, and if the condition holds false, then it will come out of the loop. So let's try to understand the code from the beginning. What happened in line number 10, I have initialized in char to y. So in the first iteration, what will happen here, it will check whether y not equals n. Okay, well, of course it is true, y is not equal to n, so it should come inside this while loop, print the value of in char, which is y now, and then a line break, and then it should wait for user input for in char, and let's see whether that happens or not. So I just ran it, and as expected it printed y for in char, and now see the program is running and the program is waiting for the user input in char. So let us enter a, just a random character. I chose a. So in char, so I have chosen a as the value for in char. So what will happen, it will come to the while loop condition checking once again. Now it will check whether a not equals n or not. Well, again it is true, because a is of course not equals n. So it should come inside the while loop and again print the value of in char, which is a this time, and uh, again wait for the user input. So let's hit enter and let's see whether it prints a or not. Well, as expected, it printed a, and again waiting for an user input. Now the same thing will happen if I use u or any other character other than 1. So if I just hit enter u and then hit enter, as expected it printed u, and then waiting for the input. Now if I hit n here, if I enter n, now the value of in char is n. So now it will check in the line number 11 whether in char, that is n not equals n. This time it is false. So what will happen if I hit enter now? Just as you can see, the program stopped because it came out of the while loop. The condition of the while loop here, it is false, and it came out of the while loop and the program ended. Now here actually you can do a little bit of I mean, instead of just keeping on just waiting without saying nothing, you can think of like printing a nice message for the user, like let's say cout enter a new value or new character to modify in char, and then colon space. So just I'm trying to making it look better, that's it. So that's the only thing. And now if I just run it, now the user can easily understand, okay, this loop is controlled by the user himself or herself, or like that. And so now, it is the output is like as the before, just this message is being printed instead of just waiting. So y have been printed, so it is waiting for the user input. If I enter a and hit enter, it will print a because a is not equals n. Same way, if I put u and hit enter, it will print u, and again waiting for the next input. And now if I put n here and then hit enter, as you can expect, it the program stopped and it came out of the loop. And here also, just in order to make it even better, what you can do, you can just print a line called out of loop or something like that, and that is it. And if you just run it, output will be same, y then a, print a. Just I want to show you the demo look and feel better, so that you can easily understand that okay, the while loop have been broken exactly. A then I let's say what was that, I printed a then u and hit enter, and now if I n, then it just came out of the while loop. Now you can easily see that through an print out statement that, well, what I was claiming, all correct. It came out of the while loop and the program ended. So that is it. That is all about the Sentinel controlled or user controlled while loop. Just the modification part over here. Instead of any arithmetic operation, automatic arithmetic operation takes care of the modification automatically like this. Instead of doing that, you have to wait for the user input like this.